Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of What's Driving Token Prices. I'm Katie Talati, Director of Research at Arca. I'm responsible in my role for identifying and analyzing blockchain opportunities for Arca's funds. As part of our research, my team and I examine token prices and the market events that act as catalysts for price shifts. Based on our research and market events over the past week, we wanted to share with you some notable token price movements and what we think drove these moves. As a reminder before we get started, this commentary is not intended to be investment advice, investment research, or a recommendation. Please consult your investment professional for your own circumstances. All right, everyone, let's get started this week. It has been quite an exciting one. Okay, so to start, I'm going to talk about RUNE, or the ticker symbol RON, or RON, which is down 9% week over week. So RUNE, for those of you that don't know, is the sidechain supporting the Axie Infinity ecosystem. Last week, the sidechain was actually hacked for over $600 million. I believe the tally is somewhere around 625 million. That obviously fluctuates right now. The hack is actually one of the largest to date, even larger than the wormhole hack, which we talked about a few weeks ago. That was the Solana's bridge wormhole. And this hack actually resulted in a loss of funds for players and the Axie Infinity treasury, including 173,600 ETH and over $25 million in stablecoins. So the team has pledged to pay back the impacted users. However, they have not yet shared their plan on how funds will be paid back. Again, this is obviously, huge disappointment to just the overall bridging ecosystem, since bridges have had a ton of vulnerabilities as of late. We've seen a lot of compromises on bridges such as multi-chain and, like I mentioned before, wormhole on Solana. And so, hopefully this is a wake-up call to people to start to secure these bridges much more thoroughly. So we will keep you posted on how and when these funds are recovered. Next up, we have Tron Chain, or their ticker RUNE. So RUNE is up 47% in the last week. I think we talked about RUNE a couple weeks ago. So RUNE is a cross-chain liquidity protocol, and they've integrated with all the major chains like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and they allow for native swaps of assets. What was really notable is that last week they integrated with the Terra blockchain, allowing users to deposit Luna and UST into the Tron Chain pools to earn the swap and staking fees. I believe right now on Luna, the pool fee is like 12% APR, and then on UST it's 30%. So, and again, for those of you that aren't familiar with RUNE, it's actually a token that's kind of designed to deterministically be. The price is deterministically supposed to be 3x the value of all the TVL. And that's because for every $1 of RUNE liquidity provided per non-RUNE $1, you also need the validators or the nodes on the network also need $2 of RUNE. So that kind of coupled with the demand to deposit Luna and UST has really sent the price of RUNE flying. Since last Thursday when this happened, it's up over 40%. And again, I think this is interesting, especially with Luna. There's actually been an easing on the Anchor protocol yield, which was previously 20%. And some are saying it'll be as low as 15% in the next few weeks. So very interesting to see that people are kind of chasing yield in other places, but that has caused a surge in the RUNE price over the past week. All right, next up we have Chiliz, or CHZ, which is up 48% week over week. This is an interesting one. I actually saw on the Twitter comments for the last few weeks, I've gotten a lot of requests to talk about this one. So for those of you that aren't familiar, Chiliz is the blockchain or the token that powers the Socios fan token platform. Socios you've been around for a couple of years. They have over 100 partnerships with sports teams and brands, and their whole thing is they're basically creating fan tokens and allowing brands and teams to really better engage with their fans in kind of like a more reward centric way. Big news yesterday was that they signed a $20 million deal with Lionel Messi to promote fan tokens on their platform. So for those of you that aren't aware, Lionel Messi is considered one of the greatest soccer players of all time. He has 300 million Instagram followers, and so he really is, potentially like a really great brand ambassador for the project, and is just really has the right platform and audience to raise awareness about fan tokens and how fans can kind of use digital assets to stay connected to their teams, especially when they're not in the stadium. What I really like about Chili's or Socios is that they actually did a lot of stuff during COVID when there weren't any games and there weren't any live events. And while some may have said, oh, this would have hurt them or this would have been really tough, they actually used the issuance of fan tokens and their fan token platforms to really help teams connect with their fans virtually. And, more and more, every brand, every team, anybody out there who has any type of celebrity has been trying more and more to figure out, how do I connect with my fan base when I'm not like having a concert or a live event? Because it's very hard outside of those avenues. So they're doing some really exciting stuff. And as a result, they're up almost 50% week over week. All right. Last to this week, we have DeFi Kingdoms and its token Jewel, which is up a whopping 90% week over week. So for those of you that don't know what DeFi Kingdoms is, they are a play to earn game that tries to combine DeFi with kind of the traditional gaming model popularized by Axie. Their token Jewel is the governance and in-game token. So the token rose over 90% last week on the much anticipated launch of the game on the Avalanche blockchain. So instead of migrating so currently DeFi Kingdoms is built on Harmony blockchain, and instead of migrating the whole game over to a different blockchain, they decided to actually issue a new part of the game on Avalanche, and that new part of the game is called Crystal Veil. So with that new part of the game, they're also launching a new token called Crystal. So there is now a game on Harmony and a game on Avalanche, and both have their own tokens. But in order to get the new Crystal token, it was airdropped to current holders of the Jewel token. So the basically what we think is that holders, people who were holding Jewel or buying up Jewel in anticipation of getting the free Crystal token, which will be used in some of the new DeFi pools that will be available on the Crystal Veil game once it is launched in the coming weeks. So the game was supposed to be launched today with the airdrop. So that is very exciting for anybody in that ecosystem. All right, everyone, that is all I have for you this week. I hope you enjoyed our insights. Tune in again next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific to hear what's driving token prices.